Superman issue 248. Blast you, Superman. You deserve to die. It's your fault I killed everyone on Earth. Extra, a new world of Krypton tale plus a startling story of Superman of the future. The tall, grim figure walked slowly through the door. His shoulders stooped as though they bore the weight of the world upon them. It's over, all over. What do I do now? The silent question echoes through the lonely corridors until the only thing I can do, leave a record. Somebody must be told. Somebody, somewhere. The solitary figure pauses for a moment, carefully considering the content of his thoughts, then begins. Whosoever finds this tape, greetings. My name is Lex Luthor, considered by many to be the foremost scientific genius this world has known. Modestly, I accept the honor. Most of my life has been spent in conflict with the Kryptonian called Superman, a battle of wits that inexplicably resulted time and again in my defeat. Now, at last, that struggle has ended. A short while ago, as a result of my ultimate creation, I destroyed this so called Man of Steel. But, but, in so doing, I became the man who murdered the Earth. Lex Luthor pauses once again as he silently studies the scene of utter devastation that stretches out before him, and teardrops glisten at the corners of his eyes. Memories billow, then fade, thrust aside by icy realization. There'll be no more gray walls and tasteless prison food, no more daring escapes in the thrill of the hunt, no more exhilaration at a battle proudly fought. And, and the last and most numbing thought of all, no more Superman. Snapping his eyes away from the bleak tableau, Luther lashes out at an image of his arch foe. Blast you, stop looking at me like that. I know what I did, and I feel bad enough as it is. Ha! Listen to me, ranting at a statue. I have to get control of myself. Look at this situation logically. Maybe, if I review the affair from the beginning, I can find a loophole, a way out. Final report continued. Obviously, you are wondering how this came about, and so in a way am I. For posterity, I shall attempt, to the best of my ability, to reconstruct events exactly as they occurred. It began on this precise spot in my hidden lair during the final stages of my most daring experiment. Everything must be precise. There's no margin for even the slightest error. Anything that bumbling Victor Frankenstein could do, Lex Luthor can do better. Yes, far better, for I was not attempting to create mere humanoid life. My goal was boundless and as vast as the stars themselves. From countless light years away, from the very birthplace of the universe, I gathered particles and pieces of galactic matter until I had enough to build a man, like the legendary golem of old who was forged from bits of clay. I have molded a man thing that'll be more than a match for my old friend, Superman. But now, while the stars are in proper conjunction, I must act. Gingerly, I adjusted the controls, setting in motion forces man had never before dreamed of controlling. Must have more galactic energy, enough to breathe life into my creation. For a seeming eternity, the plastic covered form lay silent, unmoving, and then, at the expected moment, it is moving. Slowly, the covering dropped away, and the huge form rose to its feet, a broad, unbelievably powerful being of pseudo life that I decided in advance to name the Galactic Golem. And like the original, it will free me from the yoke of my oppressor, Superman. My initial endeavor successful, I prepared to set Phase 2 into motion. The golem is ready, awaiting a catalyst to give it cause. And once that is done, nothing will be able to stand against it. Nothing. I had constructed my creature carefully, giving it a single driving force, an all-consuming hunger for the hyperstellar energy that lent it life. The golem can't detect the galactic force behind this protective screen, but now it is being drawn to the energy I implanted in that abandoned building, attracted to it like a moth to the flame. From my protected vantage point, I tracked the golem as it headed straight for the invisibly pulsating structure. Splendid. It senses the nourishment awaiting it and lets nothing bar its path. Moments later, the insatiable star being reached the condemned tenement, and the street erupted in thunder. It won't stop till it's drained the last iota of energy from the building. One final test, and I'll be ready to put Phase 3 in action. Again, my galactic gargoyle performed its task unerringly, its instincts leading it to a mountain outside Metropolis I had imbued with its stellar food. Ha ha! That feeding will affect seismograph readings from here to Coast City. And when at last its meal was consumed, everything works to perfection. Now, nothing stands between me and my goal, the total destruction of the indestructible man of steel. It seemed like 1,000 eternities till the next sunrise. Adjusting my global view screen with particular relish, I brought my intended victim into sharp focus. This is Lois Lane, filling in for vacationing Clark Kent at the opening of the first annual Metropolis Open Golf Classic. For those of you who might not know, the Open is a charity match with first prize going to the organization of the winner's choice. As a special treat, WGBS TV has prevailed upon Superman to drive out the first ball. I grinned as Superman sized up his shot, trying desperately to achieve an air of showmanship. Then, as his specially constructed golf club struck the titanium ball, I teed off as well. A perfect shot. I've filled him with galactic energy, and the poor fool doesn't even know it. Curiously, I tracked the hurtling sphere as it rocketed through space to make a hole-in-one landing in the moon's Copernicus crater. When once more I returned my gaze to Earth, a Superman sweetheart commended him on his feet. Phase 3 was in full effect. Superman, that was amazing. I'm certain your viewers appreciated your taking time out of your busy schedule to die, Miss Lane. To die. As planned, my star-spawned servant had been irresistibly drawn to the new energy source, and thanks to the voice box I had implanted within the beast, it was I who spoke to my fellow hated foe. You can call me the Galactic Golem, Superman, a name you do well to remember, for the few remaining minutes you have left to live. Lois, get everybody out of here. Something tells me things are about to get hairy around here. But Superman, No back talk. Clear out, now. As the Man of Steel watched the others get safely away, I made my move. Most commendable, Superman. Always thinking of the safety of the masses before your own. It's a virtue that could be the death of you. Sorry, pal, but I'm used to this sort of thing by now. It helps keep my uniform clean. All the better to bury you with, Kryptonian. Eagerly, I waited for Superman's countermove. This thing's more powerful than it looks. My belly bender hardly phased it. I'll never forget the astonished look on Superman's face as my creation shook off his most powerful blow, and I quickly pressed my advantage. You've waggled that glib tongue of yours for too many years. It's time someone silenced it for you. Feels as if it's tearing my soul. Got to break its hold. Exertion cut creases across the Man of Steel's brow as he struggled to release himself from the grip of my energy-sucking synthezoid. And finally, splat, I did it. There's more to this creature than meets the eye. I feel a weak supply of soggy wash. Somehow the golem is draining away my life force, and I don't know how to stop it. But there's one thing I do know. I mustn't let it get its hands on me. So, Superman, burrowing into the ground, just like the rodent you are. For a moment, the man of steel was gone. Suddenly, the ground beneath my golem's seething feet began to tremble, and what? I staggered it. Better get my licks in while I can. Rearing up at amazing speed, my star spawned savage struck first. Foolish Superman, you are outmatched. Your powers stem from Earth's yellow sun, while mine are as boundless as the cosmos itself. And that weakening feeling again, as if something were playing leapfrog with my insides. The Kryptonian seemed to crumple beneath the golem's awesome onslaught when, sorry to use you for leverage, but I just couldn't resist such a tempting target. Then I witnessed something I thought I would never see. The mighty Superman turned and fled. If I keep trying to play hero, that monstrosity is going to drain me drier than a fig. Got to gather my thoughts, figure out a way to handle this mess. Like a scared sparrow, my arch foe soared over the city, but I was not about to let him get away unscathed. Ah! Blasted thing hit me with another energy blast, and the sound of his impact was enough to shock the city. For a time all was still. Then the man of steel moved, and his movement was echoed by another. Here it comes again, giving me no rest between rounds. Like a cornered animal, Superman lashed out against his obviously superior foe. If I can only hold it off long enough to regain my strength, I might have a chance getting out of this alive. You are doomed. Not so, Superman. You've run out of steam. And when I get through with you, there won't be enough left to scrape into a sack. Ugh, you have a way with words that is positively revolting. The time for words is done, Superman. All that remains is the final battle. A battle I'll win, even if I have to tear you apart with my bare hands. And those hands have the power to do it. There's got to be an answer. That glowing gargoyle must have a weak spot. Wait, I've got it. It's a spot, all right, that strange marking in the center of its forehead. Why else would it protect itself from a minor blow when a major one couldn't even make it wince? I'll get only one crack at this. If I don't hit that mark dead center, it's all over. And then they clashed. The force of their meeting was like a prelude to cataclysm. When at last the smoke cleared, it's finished. And I've won. I've won. The force of the explosion ripped Superman to atoms. I've got to let the whole world know. I set my global view screens on full scan, and the enormity of what I had done became terribly clear. Can't find anyone, anywhere. There's not a living thing left on the face of the earth. That is all of it, the whole morbid tale. I finally destroyed my lifelong enemy, only to become a mass murderer of monstrous magnitude. I'm going away now, in a spaceship of my own design, leaving this dead world behind me as an eternal monument to my transgression. My only hope is that someday, somehow, I will be able to justify my acts to God and to myself. End of report. There is a faint hiss as the door slides open and the master villain takes a single step out into the chill evening air. What they say is true. A city is it's for people. Without life, Metropolis stands naked and forlorn. Its every tower a tombstone, accusing me. Enough. I can take no more. The sooner I get out of here, the better the chance of preserving my sanity. It won't take me long to pack my things and great galaxies. What a fool I've been. I forgot about the golem. Not one mistake could be the death of me. How could I have been so blind? When I destroyed Superman, I dropped the protective force field, and the golem's hunger sense detected a new source of food, my galactic cannon. And now it is hungering for me. Got to set up the force shield to protect myself. Swift fingers press intricate controls, and a shimmering field of impenetrable energy blurs into view. But too late. Set up the shield all right, but I've trapped the golem in here with me. Get back! Get back! Get back! Get back! The monster is mocking me with my own electronic voice box. But as the behemoth closes in on its hapless creator, a wall of the lair erupts inward to reveal Superman! But how did you know? When Luther spoke through his golem, he should have disguised his voice. It was a dead giveaway. But as the action ace moves toward the golem, Luther, turn off your force field. I can't penetrate it. Impossible, Superman. The golem's energy radiation interferes with my control. What is the measure of the mighty? Once this man could have toppled stars at his command, but now he stands, the once irresistible force, facing the still immovable object. And it is his raw courage and grim determination that will tip the scales this day. Can't give up. Got to get through, or Luther's had it. The Metropolis Marvel hurtles through the newly made portal and what is it, Luther? Why has this monstrosity of yours decided to change victims? It's the galactic energy, the same force I secretly filled you with. It's the golem's food source, and the beast will stop at nothing to get it. And this cannon's filled with that energy. Then get rid of it. I can't hold this horror much longer. Desperately, the world's most fertile genius ponders his dilemma until his view screen roving eye settles upon deep space and the answer to his problem. A meteor swarm tracking through the galaxy. It's my only chance. The pungent odor of ozone fills the battle scarred lab, and the grotesque golem senses the sudden absence of its meal. It's working, Luther. The monster's confused, unsure of what to do next. Then the most powerful muscles in the universe propel a huge, glowing form out of Luther's lair up toward the shimmering stars, and two timeless enemies witness the fate of a mutual foe. It may be centuries before the erratic orbit of that meteor swarm brings it near Earth again. By that time, hopefully, the golem will have starved itself to death. But that's not your problem, friend. Right now, you've got a date with your old prison cell. Wait! You can't do this to me. You at least owe me some explanations. How did you survive the explosion? What happened to everyone on the face of the earth? Oh, that. Just a little vanishing trick I pulled with the help of your golem. If I'm right, a blow to its head will destroy the golem, but it's liable to destroy everything else as well. A discharge of that much hyperstellar energy could decimate the Earth. Fearing that awful possibility, I did the only thing I could. I removed every living thing from the planet. Using the golem's own energy radiation to increase my vibrations, I'm shifting everyone to a different dimensional plane. If I win this battle, I'll return them later. If not, well, I'd rather not think about that. With everybody safely gone, I completed my punch, but the golem's shimmering energy blurred my eyesight. I missed, and the force of my blow carried me into that other dimension, too. Moments later, they've dusted off your cell in honor of your return, Luth. Why, Luther, I do believe you're smiling. Listen to it, Superman, the sounds of life and laughter. Sure, I've got something to smile about. The end. The fabulous world of Krypton. Untold stories of Superman's native planet. All in the mind. The huge, blood red sun hangs high in the hot Kryptonian skies, bathing the city below in a sweltering crimson and scarlet glow. Most stay cool in the comfort of their air frost homes, but a few raise sweat by digging into Krypton's past. Such is the Mintor exploratory team. This is the second Sundisk we have uncovered. How did they get here? Look, Mentor, at my touch, this globe began emitting thought waves. Hurry, see and hear it for yourself. And this historical record of our lives will serve as a warning that such destruction must never happen again. The war between the city-states of Urkel and Zan lasted 200 sun cycles. Terrible as the war was in its devastation, both sides searched desperately for even more frightful weapons. How we suffered when Zan unleashed its all-element bomb. Both sides having grown weary, the war eventually stopped. No agreement signed, no truce declared. Shortly thereafter, the horrible after effects in Urkel became apparent. Observe, Lanhu, your son has no thumbs. He will have great difficulty grasping or holding objects, and his head, enlarged and deformed, like all babies conceived during the day of the bomb. And in due time, the despairing parents appealed to the council of elders. Look at them, our offspring, large heads and small brains. They say nothing, understand nothing. Is the future of Urkal to be placed in their deformed hands? No, it cannot be. Sooner or later, our war with Zan will be renewed, but we will need mighty warriors, not mindless creatures. Why, they cannot even hold a weapon, let alone fire one. And just imagine the loathsome consequences should any of these things mate. I say get rid of them. Very well, General. We shall consider your proposal. At first, there was some public resistance, but it collapsed with the imminent resumption of the war. The Council has issued its proclamation. Let the roundup begin. There was hatred everywhere in Urkel. The children, so naive and innocent, were herded into stockades. The coldness of the night hugged the frightened prisoners in a blanket of shivering magenta, moving them on to the morning of their exile. Move on. After today, we'll be rid of you forever. Thank Rao. The sun disks spread their hungry fingers toward the sun, grasping the solar power to move them onwards, over the Dandahu Ocean, past the scarlet jungle and firefalls, until they finally came to rest near the golden sea of Ewe. Slowly, tearfully, the youngsters pushed their misshapen heads out into their new world. Janar, where are we? I do not know, Sala, but it is nothing like the war-torn land of our birth. Unknown to the elders, the children were able to communicate, but telepathically and only with each other. How beautiful it is, Janar! Green plants as far as the eye can see, and the air so fresh, the sky so clear. You drink in the beauty, Sala, while I think about how to survive here. Hmm. Our first problem is how to build when we can't even lift a stone. And Rao help us if we should need weapons to defend us from wild beasts. We shall have to live in caves, eat off the land. It will be all right until the sun grows cold. Then there will be no food or fire to keep us warm. Oh, Janar, what did we do to deserve this? Don't cry, Salah. It will work out if we have the determination. Yes, even the most hopeless of situations can be solved. Soon the exiles began finding ways to make their lives easier. The flames from firefalls will never go out. We'll be able to prepare our food the year round now. But I wish we were able to protect ourselves from the beasts. Each day they venture closer and closer. Even with much work to be done, they found time for relaxation. What a fantastic waterfall! There was never anything like this back home. Last one to the other side is. My head throbbing. That horned monster going to jump. Have to beat it back somehow. A rock. Can hardly lift it, let alone grasp and throw it. I feel so helpless. Oh, Rao, how I wish. Then, like a miracle from the sun god Rao, what on Krypton? The rock lifted itself up, flying at the beast like I wished. It is Sala. She is thinking fear. I can sense it. By thinking very hard, I am making the rock hit the creature over and over. Wait till I show the others. Janar was still too young to comprehend that his inferior body had been compensated for by a superior mind, empowering him with mind over matter. Concentrate. Think harder than you've ever thought before, and you will be able to move things, to control what we can't even lift with our hands. They learn quickly to develop their powers, determine their limitations. See, Janar, I cannot even budge yonder rock. It is beyond the range of our mental power. And from the land they piled stones atop stones, toppled down trees for building, and soon a community began to take shape. Our new homeland, Janar, It is the most beautiful sight I have ever seen. My most beautiful vision is you, Sala. Before long, the sun grew dim, and the bitter hoarfrost of long, cold days kept the teens huddled deep within their fire warm dwellings. Then, Janar, come quickly. I hear voices coming from the sun disk. I was playing in here and touched something. All of a sudden, a man's image appeared and began speaking. Listen. Within minutes, it will be all over for us. Just when we had thought we had finally defeated our Jan enemy, they unleashed the doomsday weapon upon us, about to annihilate us all. Rao, help us. Only you can save us now. Maybe we can save our parents with our powers. No, remember they abandoned us. Let us do for them what they did for us. Nothing. Fripp is right. There is no reason to help them. Yes, there is. They are still our parents. If we do not help them, we'll be just like them. No, we'll be worse, because we'll be refusing to help out of spite, of vengeance. I say let us make a run for it. Run faster. We must get as close to Urkal as we can. And think, harder than we've ever thought before. Concentrate on stopping the doomsday weapon from exploding. But they were much too far away to stop the explosion. A sun-bright flare, and Urkel died out. If only they didn't send us away, we could have saved them. As for myself, Sala and I were wed and had a child. A normal child, as were all the other children born in the city we have given the name Kryptonopolis. Kryptonopolis, destined to be the second capital of Krypton and the city of Superman's birth. The end. Superman. Think the Superman of our day has his hands full battling Luthor's wily scientific brain? Brother, he has had it easy compared to his descendant in the far future, the Superman of 2466. This man of tomorrow is up against a super brained mutant who has the fantastic power to conquer the whole cosmos. So take a ringside seat for the battle of the century, the 25th century, that is. Muto versus the Man of Tomorrow. Originally published in Action Comics 339 in 1966. Muto speaking via Ultra News. I demand that the universe accept me as its ruler. I'll demonstrate one of my unbeatable weapons on the people of Metropolis today. That's the cue for Clark Kent T5477 to make a fast switch. That maniacal mutant will carry out his threat unless I can stop him as Superman. Superman Special. On a distant planet, the Superman of 2466 ends a long hunt for his arch foe, Muto, as villainous as the first Superman's enemy, Luthor, but with mutant mental powers which make him even more dangerous. I've caught up with Muto, but he's using his power of mind over matter to change part of this cliff to gas so the sea can flow through and flood the valley beyond. Unlike his 20th century ancestor, this Superman is immune to kryptonite, but he has a different weakness. That seawater is deadly to me. An atomic war left a fallout in the oceans of all planets, but it only affects me. Still, I must risk being submerged in order to save those children from the flood. Jumping Gemini. They're not living children at all. They're androids. They were made by Muto to lure me into my doom. Can't fly away in time. Trapped by the flood, Superman sinks to the floor of the inundated valley. Feel weak. The contaminated water has paralyzed me. I'll soon be dead. And those android kids keep running and playing as they were programmed to do, even underwater. Superman's finished. Now I'll rejoin my gang. We'll loot the weapons world, where all battle machines are stored after the Planetary Federation outlawed war. With those devices, I'll conquer the universe. But does Superman give up? You should know better. Can't move, but I can still use my supervision to some extent, and I can see the control board in that android child's back. Maybe with my limited heat vision, I can change their programming. And as the attempt succeeds, I did it. I programmed them to carry me out of this deadly drink. Moments later, now I'll take my rescuers to Alvat, a planet whose entire population is made up of androids, the only survivors left when the world's humans died out in a plague. And soon, on that strange world, I've programmed them for activities here, and they'll be safe from criminals. Now I'll get back on Muto's tail. Hold it, I'm receiving a telepathic message. From Earth's Atlantis comes a mental communication powered by many minds. Superman, we're combining our telepathic power to reach you. Muto has come to Earth and has an undersea base here. Muto on Earth? And he's ready to use the terrible arsenal he stole from the weapons world. Well, there'll be a monkey wrench in the works. Me. Soon, back on Earth. There's Muto's base. It's lead lined, so my X-ray vision can't see inside. But if he thinks being underwater can save him from me, he's dead wrong. I'll make a huge grapple to haul his HQ out of there. But when the Man of Steel returns with his colossal grapple, I'm all set. Now to fish that structure up. But the whole base is starting to rotate. The finned buildings spin faster and faster, creating a gigantic water spout. Another of Muto's water traps. The base was a machine designed to catch me. I'd be helpless as a snowman in a forest fire. But next moment, except that I figured Muto would spring another sea trap. So I strapped on this flying jet that automatically starts when water hits it. It's giving me a ride to safety. Once outside the paralyzing water spout, Superman goes back into action. My Atlantean friends, can you read my thoughts? Please try and fasten this grapple onto Muto's revolving base. Leave it to us, Superman. We'll hook that fish for you. The undersea Atlanteans, friends of the Superman family since the days of Lori Lemaris, swim as close as possible to the spinning structure. The grapple will catch one of the fins, and the whirling mechanism wraps the chain around itself. Haul up, Superman. Check and thanks. When the super blow cracks the supposed base open, okay, I'm out of the game. You beat 2 water traps, but you'll soon be going down for the 3rd time. You just keep thinking that, pal. Muto admits to having an Achilles heel. I'd better find out what it is. After taking his captive to jail, Superman switches to his everyday identity. Ultra News reporter Clark Kent, T5477. The building's helicraft entrance is a handy place to switch identities when there's no traffic. I'll go over that micro-reel file on Muto again to see if there's a clue to his weakness. As Clark studies the record of Muto's strange origin, and after this space liner was drawn through a space warp into another dimension, Muto was born on the ship. His alien birth gave him strange powers, but it could have gave him a certain vulnerability too. By George, I think I've got it. Suddenly, Lyra 3916, the girl reporter who is fond of Clark Kent but detests Superman, bursts in. Clark, quick! Muto's image is being received on 3D Ultra News. He's interrupted all other broadcasts. Come and see. Together with reporter J. L. 3388 and PW 5598, the interplanetary news computer editor, they witness Muto's threat. To convince all worlds to acknowledge my rule and pay me tribute, I will now bring a special doom on Metropolis. As the 3-dimensional Ultra News warning ends, what will we do? Evacuate Metropolis? If I know Muto, there won't be time for that. Let's separate and find Superman. He's our only chance. Finding Superman is a cinch for Clark Kent, T5477. Okay, Muto, I'm ready to take whatever you can dish out and fling it right back in your face. It takes only seconds for the man of steel to spot his foe. Good old X-ray vision. Muto's hidden inside that cloud. He intends to use one of the stolen devices from the weapons world on Metropolis. And faster than lightning, Superman strikes. Your cloud trick fizzled, Muto. You're not storming any cities today. Once a sucker, always a sucker, eh, Superman? Did you forget my ability to send out mental waves which alter matter? For instance, it's child's play to condense the cloud around us into water, like the sea from which it arose. He's paralyzed me again. I'm helpless, falling. Then, as Superman plummets earthward inside the falling water, my flying jet saved me again when the water automatically triggered it, but it gave me no time to turn that ray on Metropolis. Too late, Superman. You used to be the biggest man in Metropolis, but no more. What does he mean by that? Help! What's happening to us? We're trapped. We'll die. Great Krypton! That malevolent mutant that used the expander ray, one of the most diabolical weapons of past wars. And what does that device do? Give a look. We're shooting up like crazy. I'm stuck fast in this doorway. We're already too big to get out through the windows and elevator doors. In the daily interplanetary news offices, have my optic lenses gone haywire, or are you humans getting taller? Your eyes are okay, PW, but only living things are expanding. It's a good thing modern clothes have plenty of stretch. If this keeps up, either the walls and ceilings go or we do. And as the expander's awful effect continues, our huge bulk cracked open the jet bus from inside. We're doomed. We'll soon be too big to move. Only Superman might have helped, but he flew away and deserted us. Better eat those words, buddy. Our super champ is back from a super swift trip. I had to go to the museum world where relics of the histories of thousands of planets are kept to get this apparatus used in wartime as a defense against the expander. I'll shrink things back to normal. We're getting smaller again. Superman came through after all. Then, that's that. Now to catch up with Muto, and this time we're playing for all the marbles. He knows my vulnerability, but he'll never guess that I've figured out his. Telescopic vision and super speed soon locate the mad mutant. Muto and his two henchmen are in that rocket ship, getting ready to launch more of the stolen weapons at me. Helium bombs, the most powerful in the universe, but they might as well be spitballs for all the damage they do to me. Watch it, Superman. That last bomb is a doozy. It's filled with water, compressed by Muto's mind over matter power. Muto's trying to force me into the sea, but my automatic flying jet pulled me out of it again, and now it's my turn. First, I'll practice my pretzel bending on these rocket tubes. Uh-oh, there goes Muto. Well, I'll hurl the ship into orbit so his two cronies can be picked up later. Then I'll catch up with that mental maniac. The pursuit leads to the bleakest land on Earth, the icy Antarctic. He's trying to decoy me into his base under the ice cap. Then he plans to change the tons of ice around it to water. Even my jet couldn't save me. Well, I'm not falling for it. Smelting metal from rock with his bare hands, Superman fashions a giant rod, and then my vacuum breath is drawing those storm clouds together over this spot. As awesome bolts of lightning crash, so you decided to come out to play when I wouldn't go in, eh? I know what you're up to, Superman, but you're all wet, or will be when I melt the ice you're standing on, and at that moment the titanic discharge of electric force has the effect Superman planned. A super electric discharge can open a space warp into another dimension. Being born in that dimension gave you fantastic mental powers, but also a vulnerability. You guessed it. Because it's my home dimension, a force is yanking me through the warp as a nail is drawn by a magnet. And when the warp closes, Mito's returned to where he was born. Let's hope he stays there. With his colossal brain, it's the only safe place for him. The end.